Dr. Jeremy Weiss here. I'm founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders like the founders of P90X, Baby Einstein, Atari, many more, and how they overcome big challenges in life and business. And this is part of the e-commerce mastery series where top sellers and experts teach you what really works to boost your e-commerce business. And I'm excited. Today we have Richard Baccus, and he runs ABC Vacuum Warehouse and Gruene Steam with his dad, Ralph. How old's your dad now?
My dad is 72.
72. ABC Vacuum started in 1977 as a mail order vacuum business, and they operate a brick-and-mortar store as well as a 20,000 square foot warehouse and employ 28 staff. And Gruene Steam, they've run since 2008, and it provides alternatives to harsh chemical cleaning products because after decades of experience in the retail floor business, they knew there was a better way, and they used German innovations to actually come up with the steam products to clean floors. So we'll talk about that too. Richard, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, great to be here.
So since it's Inspired Insider, I always like to ask, what's been the lowest moment business-wise and what's been the proudest moment? Because I know it's not always $1 million days type of thing.
Right.
So what's been the lowest moment? Talk about some of the tough times.
Yeah, so those are always around. The more dynamic, the larger your business gets. That could be a day-to-day thing, So
Right.
You just have high and low points during the day. But I'd say there was one time where we had probably. You have somebody that you have to let go, and that's always a low point, because you get to know them, especially in a small company. You're like a family, and so there's been a couple of those where that's had to happen, for various reasons. But as far as that goes, I don't like to focus on that too much. There's as far as a high point definitely was when we moved into our new facility.
Is this the 20,000 square foot facility, or?
It's 20,000 square foot facility. Before that, it looked like we had a trailer park going behind that store. I'm telling you, we had all these small portable buildings. They were just linked together. Every year we'd add a new one, thinking that was the answer to our problems, and then we'd
What was it? Like, what's the structure look like? Is it I'm picturing like a doghouse or something. What is it?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
So the store was very small up front. It was like just a regular box, that you would see with a regular storefront. But out back, we had connected. I had a carpenter connect these 10 buildings, that we had purchased really cheap. And these things would get super hot in the summertime. And then we started purchasing, truck containers, that used to fit on the backs of trucks.
And just leave them out there.
Just leave them out there, and so a truck would come in for delivery, and we had to hand take everything off and go put it in these individual little storage buildings. And for the space that we had between them, we had wooden structures built. We had a carpenter make these wooden structures. It literally looked like something out of, the Calcutta or something, where you go, don't go in that area.
Right.
This is all in the back, and we had it. And I remember thinking we were never going to be able to quite get out of there because we were so busy all the time. It's like, how are we going to move all this stuff? How are we going to do? Well, we finally found this one warehouse facility. We got it built. I'll remember not even believing we were going to do it once it was finished, and we moved everything in one weekend. We had this great plan. We logistically figured out, and we were sitting in there, and I remember just like looking around that day going like, I can't believe we're here. It was just like this big high point.
Yeah.
And this one guy came over and visited us, and he said, what's going to happen next? And I was like, what's that? He goes, well, now you're going to go broke buying merchandise because you got room for it. It's like, no, we know how to run lean. And I remember we were stretching the bank account out because, he was right. So we had all this new inventory, but just to be in a real facility, it was just such a high point.
So how long from the beginning, from 1977, what point did you move into the 20,000 square foot facility to give people an idea?
That was 2005.
Yeah.
So literally almost, so now we're working on like year 30.
Yeah. Almost 30 years, yeah.
So we've been here just a little over 10 years.
Yeah. What's the toughest part of your job?
Toughest part of my job is probably juggling my time now. So it used to be where I could get my hands dirty and work on the deals and the listings, and I actually like doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now I'm more in the CEO type role, so I have to.
What's your day-to-day look like? Yeah. What's the day-to-day look like for you?
So my assistant schedules me, and then I generally will have like at least 3 or 4 set meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And mornings I come in, it's emails and reports, that kind of thing,
Right.
responses. Then we'll head into whatever else has to happen for the day, so finances, that kind of thing. It's stuff you have to deal with, but
This,
my favorite thing is I love talking to guys like you. I also
yeah.
love talking to different customers. We're dealing with new customers, just getting them on board and,
Yeah.
seeing what we can do for them and helping them out.
Yeah.
The other part is that I really do like still getting at a listing level and looking at things
Yeah.
and trying to figure out how we can tweak things to make
Yeah.
that experience better.
Yeah. So best part about working with your dad?
Um, the best part is getting actually to see him every day and getting to be with him because I know that a lot of people can't do that. They don't see their parents, much less get to work with them.
Yeah.
And the only downside to that is my poor mother suffers. So
Does she come in? I mean, it sounds like your grandparents were in the
rarely
business at
see
some
my
point.
mother because I'm always with my dad. So the last thing on the weekend is, do I want to go see my mom? No, my dad. I don't want to see him. But so she suffers from that. But it's a blessing to get to actually be and see your parents every day.
Yeah. So what should we leave people with? We talked about a lot of different things, very valuable things. Richard, what should we leave people with? Let's say
The
like
one
an
thing
e-commerce business is, looking for whatever edge or advice.
Yeah, always go at things like I said. Go from the perspective of the user. If you find out something that the user is looking for, they're wanting, or they're needing, even just a little something different from somebody else, that's a huge edge.
Yeah.
Just a reason for someone to click on you instead of somebody else. There's lots of ways to do it. Always keep looking for that. My own personal thing is I always tell people there's 2 things I'll say actually is you will try 5 things before you find one thing that works. Keep trying things is the key.
Yeah.
Keep trying things, even if they're stupid or you think they're dumb or it's what. Just keep doing it. The other thing is that I've always found in my own personal life that I would rather have somebody besides myself tell me no. So, when you hit those walls, That's fine. But sometimes we like to inside ourselves go, I don't think I should do that. Or,
I see. So just try it
try it.
and see
So
what the
stop
feedback
yourself
is.
more often than anybody else will.
Yeah. What was one of those breakthroughs? You said you tried 5 things and one finally worked. Do you remember one of those?
I think of one
That you
recent.
maybe almost gave up, but you're like, oh, we'll just try one more thing.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, on a recent level, I was
Yeah.
sitting there going, everybody was kind of wanting to give up on this one platform. They're like, you don't know about Newegg, if you're trying. I was like, you know what? Let's really get behind it and just give them a shot. Let's give them what they're asking for. Let's move them ahead of the queue.
Yeah.
And see if
Because
what
it
they're
takes
saying.
time, energy, and effort to do that, when you decide to. Yeah.
That's right.
Big
And
decision.
so we tried a bunch of things that hadn't worked already on an individual basis. They tried an all-in-one approach that let's try this, this, and this. I said, let's go for it. And boom, we had record sales with them last week. So
Wow.
that's a recent thing.
Nice.
So like I said, sometimes don't let context go either. Don't let an idea go. Sometimes things circle back around too.
Yeah.
Just because it was denied or it wasn't a good idea at that time,
Yeah.
don't trash it. Keep it in the back pocket because you never know. Situations change, the markets change, people change, management changes, everything
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, an idea that someone wasn't receptive to, they may be receptive to it now or really wanting it. So
Yeah.
you may have just been, your instincts may have been correct at that moment, but it just wasn't the right time.
Right.
So never let those things go. Keep trying on everything. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure's always, the way I always look at that is, I go, that's just your lesson to success. So, I mean,
Right.
just keep hammering away at it.
Yeah. So where should we send people to check out if they want a vacuum part or some green products? abcvacuumwarehouse.com. And then the other site is Gruene Steam, but it's spelled GrueneSteam.com.
Like Gruene Steam. That's
Right.
it's actually green in Texas. If you're in Texas, we pronounce it green. So
Got it. Richard, this has been absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate your time and expertise with everything.
absolutely, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.